Do you mean tempo, meaning speed between plays?
Right, yes.
Or do you mean their team speed?
Speed between plays.
Again, we've been seeing it on a week-to-week basis. Several teams we play run the spread or some kinds of form of the spread. Ohio State does a little bit more with the power game. You just got to go ahead and get your calls in, get your guys lined up, and make sure you're ready to go. To be quite honest, I think Indiana's really fast. I mean, I felt that the other night. And I thought for the most part, except for 3 snaps, we had our feet in the ground, all 11 ready to go. So, feel good about, to this point, our preparation against spread offenses. We minimized our last spread outfit to 64 yards rushing, which is an important stat, especially when they're in the 200s coming in. So feel like we're in a good spot getting ready to go for this week.
How tough is it specifically to deal with J.T. Barrett?
He's a good player, does a good job. You're going to have to, challenge your entire unit to stop him. Because, when you got an athlete at quarterback, you have to chase an athlete with a bunch of athletes. So that becomes an important piece of this thing. You can't just rely on the front 4. You have to involve everybody in the process, whether it's run fits or, finding ways to be creative in rushing the passer on throw scenarios.
Jabril had said yesterday that he had, after watching some of the tape on his own, he saw that one of the ways to stop Ohio State's offense was to be very physical with them. Is that something that you've seen as well?
Obviously, that's our mantra. So, one of the things we're constantly trying to do is stop the run, be physical about it, and knock the line of scrimmage back. So, it doesn't surprise me that he takes great pride in our ability to be physical with people, for sure.
I want to ask you to give away your plan, but how do you, Curtis Samuel?
If I
Yeah,
give
right.
away the
You'd have to
plan,
kill us, right?
I got to take you out. You're not leaving the building.
You watch Curtis Samuel and all the things they do with him, what multiple challenges I would assume he presents, and how do you kind of absorb all that?
Well, he's an athlete, so you got to chase athletes with athletes. That's an important piece. So you got to make sure, in your system, that you have that opportunity to do so. That's really what it comes down to.
You promise you'll take out Nick?
Nah, he's a good guy. We'll let him hang.
How soon after you agreed to come here did you start taking a look at Ohio State film?
Pretty soon. Yeah, it was pretty early in the process. It's one of those scenarios where, with the, that it's an important game on the calendar. So, you got to have a feel of things that you want to do. I also think, we're really, working on developing our own identity during the process. Like it seems like yesterday we were standing here after the Colorado game and, I was, we were still trying to piece things together. There's been a lot of water over the bridge, since then, in the development of, all the intentions, kind of all the emphasis placed on getting us straight. But at the same time, as a coach, you're always, you're conscious of all 12 opponents that you're playing during the course of the year.
You said before, I think it was Michigan State week, that you could feel it was Michigan State week. You could feel something different. Can you feel that this week too? Is it
Oh, yeah.
more or less?
Oh, yeah, I can feel it, sense of anticipation. I know our guys are getting excited and getting ready. Focus is razor sharp. So, there's a lot of things that you need to pay attention to. That it? All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, just maybe the emphasis on what your secondary can do, and again, do they have to be more mindful of a quarterback that can break out of there?
Well, obviously, those guys got a tough job. They got to cover those guys. Now, some people have jobs in that scenario that they're responsible to cover areas of the field at certain times, and obviously, the quarterback, is part of that job description. So, yeah, I mean, in that respect, if they have that kind of a job, they got to pay attention to the guy, especially when they spread you out and try to get everybody out of the box. There's those scenarios where we're kind of counting on that guy being a run fitter in certain deals. That's kind of a common thread, and sometimes easier said than done. But, I'm really happy with the way our secondaries played during the course of the year. I mean, somebody teased me about it, but the reality is we play right here a lot of the time. Sometimes we're in a zone coverage, but, if they give you the right look, you still can go ahead and play that kind of technique. So, the nice thing on that, then the emphasis becomes teaching techniques and fundamentals, and you're not dealing with, they're running the switch routes, and they're running the jet out. I mean, they'll wear you out, these offensive coordinators, with all the different pass routes. It's nice when you can just cover the guys. So, that's a big piece of what we do. We're going to challenge every throw. We're going to make it difficult. And, I'm sure they've been watching 11 weeks of film, and that's what we do. So.
All right, guys, make it